In the case of these worms, the eggs are deposited in the soil and the larvae hatch in the soil. All right? So it's the larval form in the soil that penetrates the skin, usually skin on the foot. You get these by walking barefoot. All right? They enter the blood or the lymph and travel to the lungs. And now we're getting back into that nice life cycle. Larvae travel to the throat, swallow, and mature into adults. And they get back to the small intestine. Trichinella is a worm that infects pork, all right? And it's consumption of undercooked pork containing encysted larvae that causes disease in humans. Here's the hookworm life cycle. Very simple and straightforward, okay? The larva in the soil penetrates skin, and indicated by the red dots, gets to the stomach, goes back up, comes back down, matures into adults, produces eggs that are excreted in the feces. This is the trichinella infective cycle. It's from later chapter of the book. I just said illustrate. Again, a human is a dead-end host for this organism. It's not meant to be a host because, again, the larva encysts in muscle tissue. All right, so muscle tissue has to be eaten in order for the organism to continue its life cycle. So its natural life cycle is really what's shown up here. Pig eating garbage, other animals get infected by eating infected meat that's been left around or something like that. But the natural life cycle does not involve humans. Humans, again, are an accidental host, a dead end. Although larvae do develop in humans and they insist in the muscles, nobody eats the human. So the life cycle is met at dead end.
Are those larvae can be killed by heat
Yeah.
or
Yeah. That's why you're supposed to cook pork thoroughly, is to kill any of these organisms that might be present. And this is why I heart on Echinococcus. This is, I'm not showing you a lot of tables from the chapters, but this one, I want to point out there's really a glaring error in this table that was repeated from the 9th edition, and I'm trying to figure out how to get in contact with authors to nicely point it out to them. Okay. But looking at Echinococcus granulosus, the intermediate host is given as humans. It's not. It's not. That would indicate that this tapeworm is transmitted from dogs to humans to dogs to humans to dogs to humans, that we are necessary for its life cycle. And actually, since this is an example of one where the larvae insist in muscle tissue, it would indicate that humans have to eat dogs and dogs have to eat humans for the life cycle to be maintained, correct? Okay, so that is flat wrong. All right? The intermediate hosts are the herbivores that are eaten by the definitive host. The sheep and deer and things like that. Humans are an accidental host. At least my students will know that, right? There's a couple of notes about arthropods. Okay? Arthropods are also eukaryotic animals. Okay? They're characterized by having hard exoskeletons. Their exoskeletons are basically their shells, the hard part on the outside. They have segmented bodies and jointed legs. Okay? Insects and arachnids are two groups of arthropods. Insects such as flies, bugs, fleas, lice. Those are all, they can all be vectors for disease, right? And arachnids, spiders, everybody knows what spiders are. Those are arachnids. But mites and ticks are the ones that are most frequently vectors. Okay, I don't think spiders are a vector for any diseases. These aren't microbes themselves, Okay, but they certainly can transmit infectious disease, okay? When they do, they're called vectors. Vectors can be described as being either mechanical or biological. Okay? If all they do is serve as a means of transportation, okay? Simply take the microorganisms from one host to another, they're called mechanical vectors. Like houseflies. You know, houseflies stepping in garbage or stepping on food can transmit microorganisms easily. Cockroaches, same thing. Rats. Okay? These are all examples of mechanical vectors. You know, this is sort of accidentally spread microbes around. Okay? But if the microbe actually multiplies inside the vector, or if it requires the vector as part of its life cycle, then it's called a biological vector. Okay? And the mosquitoes and ticks that we often see involved in the transmission of disease, those are often biological vectors. So back to the malaria life cycle. Okay. What kind of a vector is the mosquito?
Oh, no, not the second one.
The second one.
Biological.
That's not going to be an option on the test. Sure, it's a biological vector because it's required for the protozoa to complete its life cycle. So you know that it's a biological vector. That's all, folks.